What is up, YouTube? It's MetroGame75 here today, and today we're playing Sakura Alien 2. This is part 3. Here we go. I wandered through the campus aimlessly without any real destination in mind, and eventually found myself at the old blue building where all the lesser-used club rooms are. I take the stairs mechanically, my mind still reeling, and let myself into the astronomy club room. Ah, the astronomy club room. I don't often come here during the day, and it's unusual to see it so bright. I'm not sure what exactly compelled me to come here rather than the cafeteria, given I've only 20 minutes of my lunch break left. I guess Professor Sakai's threats made me want to see the club room for myself with my own eyes. I want to be reminded of what precisely I'll be missing out on. Should the club close for good? The club room looks much the same as it does. What's with its scuffed wooden floor and its battered old couch? The posters on the wall, which depict space vast recesses, are all the same, and as the homey scent of green tea that permeates the air. There's nothing very special about this room, really. It's cluttered, it's cramped, and it's showing its age, but it's full of fond memories despite its shortcomings. I spent countless hours in this clubroom since I enrolled at this university last April. What would I do without this clubroom? Where would Hiyori and I meet up? And what about Enna? I can't think of anywhere else we'd be able to store Hiyori's telescope, not to mention her mini fridge and kettle and portable burner. This clubroom is full of bits and pieces. You could live here in relative comfort in the unlike event of a zombie apocalypse. It's my home away from home. It might be nicer, in fact, than my actual home over in my cruddy apartment with all those dudes. Ugh. Certainly it's bigger. If I'm being quite honest, I don't think much of the astronomy club when first I was inducted into it. I only joined because Hiyori pestered me. I wasn't close to Hiyori for a long while despite our status as the astronomy club room's only 2 members, but Enna's arrival changed everything. I've had a lot of fun in this room with both her and Hiyori. I don't want to say goodbye to our sanctuary, but if I don't turn Enna in, I might have to. No, we can't turn her in. I don't want to say goodbye to Enna either, though. This is all very complicated. I feel a bit overwhelmed, to be honest. Huh? Hey, Haru, you usually don't come here during lunch. It's good to see you. And Hiyori's cheery greeting really isn't helping. The club isn't as I discovered upon opening the door. Unoccupied. The president of the astronomy club is there, sitting on the couch, a cup of green tea in one hand and lunchbox positioned on her lap. She greets me cheerfully, but soon she pauses upon seeing my pensive expression. Haru, are you okay? Oh yeah, I'm fine. I try to reassure Hiyori, but I don't think my reply quite does the trick. She doesn't look consoled in the slightest. If anything, her frown grows even more pronounced. Are you sure? You look a little down. Did something happen? I suppose so. I don't want to worry Hiyori, but I guess she's got to hear about Professor Sakai's threats sooner or later. That might have been why I came to the club in the first place, actually. I know Hiyori spends most of her free time here. Was I trying subconsciously to seek her out? She is something out of comfort, but I can't say I relish the thought of breaking the bad news to her about the club room. I know Hiyori well enough to know she won't hold Professor Sakai plot against me. There's no sense shooting a messenger, but I'm painfully aware of how much she cherished the club. I don't want to hurt her, but it's starting to seem inevitable. It's a lot to go into right now, but well, I had to talk with Professor Sakai earlier, and I'm ready to launch into an abridged account of all that transpired in Professor Sakai's office, but a loud gurgling courtesy of my stomach interrupts me. I was so caught up in my musings, I must have forgotten how hungry I was. I guess that tracks. It is lunchtime after all. For a while I think I lost track of time. Goodness me, you sound like you could use feeding up. Haru, haven't you had any lunch? Not yet. I don't know if there's any time to buy anything from the store either. Oh, don't trouble yourself with that. Convenience store food is all overpriced and it can't hold a candle to nutrition home cooking. I made a bit too much for lunch today. Actually, so you can have some of it if you want. You're more than welcome to it. I look at Hiyori's lunchbox, which is resting up on her lap. It is a very pretty, well-organized lunchbox, full of delicious and careful prepared food. I can spy even from a distance. White rice with pickled plums, rolled egg omelets, what looks to be a seaweed salad, and some fried shrimp. I can spy even from a distance. White rice with pickled plums, egg omelets, what looks to be seaweed salad from some fried shrimp. The shrimp in particular looks delicious. They're coated in golden batter. I bet they're juicy. I look at Hiyori's lunchbox with Slash on her lap. It looks pretty well organized lunchbox, full of delicious and carefully prepared food. I can even spy from a distance. Oh, what the? The shrimp in particular looks delicious. They're coated in golden butter, and I bet they're juicy. The heck? I'm a sucker for seafood. Shrimps are some of my favorites. Hiyori must have noticed my gaze because she grins the pats up the couch with one hand. Come on, Haru, sit down. There's lots of food to go around. Are you sure you don't mind? It is your lunch after all. I'm sure it just goes to waste otherwise, and there's nothing I love more than feeding people, particularly people I care about. You could use the nutritions. You might be right about that. I do feel pretty weary. Alright then, I give Hiyori's offer a bit of a thought, then decide to take her up on it. I cross the clubroom, the floorboards creaking in protest, and set my master back down by the table. Then I shrug my coat off and take a seat by Hiyori's side on the couch. I'll try some of your food. I'm pretty hungry. I thought you might say that. I am. Am I that predictable? When it comes to food, yes. You were staring at my shrimp like a man possessed. Now open wide, say, ah. Oh boy. Hiyori pitches a particularly plump shrimp between her chopsticks and then hold it up to my mouth. I look at her and askance, my lips pursued. I'm not a little kid. I'm more than capable of feeding myself, you know. I know that, but I thought we'd have fun this way. Plus, you look so weary, Haru. So I want to make things as easy for you as possible. I'm not so weary. I can't operate a pair of chopsticks. Well, too bad for you. Hiyori pokes her tongue out teasingly. You're going to eat your lunch like this, mister, and you're going to enjoy it. That's what I've decreed. Is this the price I have to pay for eating for your lunch? She really is demanding, huh? Yes, it is. I hope it's not too steep a toll. It's fine. It's a bit embarrassing, but it should be alright. It's not like there's anybody else here to judge us. Wouldn't it be alright if there was somebody else here? What? If it was Anna, I don't think there'd be any issue. But I'm not big on the public displays of affection. I know you can be so aloof at times. It's amazing you're willing to let me feed you at all. You never would have been so pliant even a few months prior. You've changed, Haru. For the better, I hope. That should go without saying. I've always thought you were cute, but you've grown even cuter since Ennis appeared. She softened you up awful lot. I'd best be careful. If I get any softer, I might turn into a slime. Being reincarnated as a slime doesn't even sound all that bad. Think of all the little things you could do with noble young girls. Whoa! What kind of thought you get into? As if I care about such things. I'm a nice guy? Hiyori counters with a teasing smile. Then why would you own so many lurid magazines? What do you know about my magazines? More than you might think. Anna told me about them, and she's not one to skip on the details. I had no idea you were interested in pet play, Haru, or... Hey, Hiyori, I'm hungry. Are you going to feed me, or are you going to torture me by waving that shrimp in front of my mouth? Oh, yes. I apologize. I must have gotten carried away. Say, with my mouth obliquely as per Hiyori's request as she drops the shrimp into it. I chew on the shrimp, savoring it. It tastes just as good as it looks. Crunchy on the outside, juicy within, but that's to be expected when it comes to Hiyori's cooking. She might have acted like it, but she's a domestic goddess. Hiyori's food is to die for. Whether she's making fried shrimps, rolled omelets, or my personal favorite, hot spot. I can eat her cooking for 3 meals a day, 7 days a week, 360 days in a year, and I wouldn't get tired of it. So what do you think? Do you like it? Of course I like it. You made it. Can you keep them coming? Of course. Hiyori beams, relieved. I'm happy to hear that. Here you go, Haru. Hiyori feeds me a bit and pieces from her lunchbox. Here, a fried shrimp. There's some seaweed salad chased down by the fluffy morsel of rolled egg omelet, which I eat with appreciation. Hiyori's food is so satisfying. It helps me forget, only for a few moments, Professor Sakai's threats. But it doesn't last for very long. I haven't forgotten what we discussed in her office. Of course I haven't. It weighs on me more heavily now than ever before. So, Hiyori looks at me, her eyes cloudy with concern. What happened, Haru? You said you were talking to Professor Sakai? That's right. I inhaled deeply, fingers resting upon my thigh, in an attempt to settle my thoughts. I have no choice but to come clean. Hiyori's food was a pleasant diversion, but I need to get down to business. I tell Hiyori about Professor Sakai's threats and what I hope mattered. I don't want to make my own upset too apparent, not when this situation is already so volatile. I hate to upset Hiyori more than is necessary. It takes me about 2 minutes to deliver an abridged version of what Professor Sakai told me, but this feels like 2 minutes too many. I feel exhausted when I'm finally finished. Talking about aloud makes Professor Sakai's threats feel realer. Somehow they did back in her office. It's pretty unnerving. Oh my. Hiyori gasps, and once I finish and press a hand to her chest. That does sound serious, doesn't it? I groan. I'd like to say I can't believe it. Well, but I can. Professor Sakai is a serious woman, and it sounds like she's got her sights set on our club. I don't know why, but she seems very suspicious of our activities, and in Anna in particular. Did she single Anna out in any way? No, but she didn't need to. I couldn't extrapolate as much, given she asked me to report back on the astronomy club members. Our club doesn't have any members other than myself, you, and Anna. Who would she be suspicious of, really, were it not for Anna? She's not an official registered student at the university unlike us. Professor Sakai has to be talking about her. Then, do you think Professor Sakai suspects something about Anna's true identity? That's what I'm worried about. We don't know anything about Professor Sakai. Really, her arrival was unannounced and totally unexpected. I don't want to sound like I'm very into conspiracy theory territory, but I am doubtful she's a real professor at all. She seems to know what she's talking about during her lectures, but that could all be a camouflage. What if she's working for the government, and somebody might have given her a tip, and now she's coming here looking for proof that extraterrestrials exist? If she digs up any dirt on Anna, she might get sent away to a facility. Do you think she means to operate on Anna? I have no idea, but isn't that what the government always does in movies? Those are only movies, though. I know, but they say life imitates art for a reason. An unpleasant image flashes through my mind of an enthusiastic Anna tied up to an operating table, bathed beneath a volley of harsh, bright lights. A surgeon looms over her, their face obscured by a surgical mask, gripping a scalp in hand. The thought is so horrid it makes me physically cringe. Hiyori's own thoughts must have wandered in a similar direction to my own because the color fades from her cheeks. Wincing, she reaches out, then takes my hand in hers. There's a chance, I suppose, that Professor Sakai might be investing in Anna, but she doesn't have any solid proof that she's an alien. If she did, she wouldn't have asked you for information. She can't take Anna away on a spurious claim. We're alright for the moment. For the moment, yeah, but I'm still worried. I don't want to be expelled, but if that what it takes to protect Anna, then I grit my teeth together. I'll have to endure that when that time comes. Do you think Professor Sakai will make good on her threat? I have no doubts about that. She sounded awfully serious. I'm in quite the pickle, but Anna's safety is more important than any of that. I can't risk her being hurt, and so that to the end. I think we should suspend the astronomy club's activities for the next week. We'll tell Anna to keep away from the campus too. Professor Sakai can't keep tabs on her if she's not around. That might be a bad idea, but will that make Professor Sakura more suspicious of us? Not less. Keeping Anna away from the campus would make it obvious that we have something to hide. Ugh. Hiyori's right about that, of course. In my fever to protect Anna, I hadn't considered that angle. Professor Sakura will be scrutinizing us closely. We can't afford to do anything that will make her more suspicious than she is already. That's unfortunate, but in that case, I guess we should continue holding our club meetings like we always have. Would that be our best option? I'm unsure. We'll have to think about it, I suppose. Why don't you try discussing matters with Anna tonight? I'm sure she will have an opinion on all this too. That's a good point. I'll tell her to be careful. What about you, Hiyori? Will you talk to her with me? I would love to, but I can't not tonight. My parents are coming over to see me. That should take up quite a bit of my time. They are? I frowned. You didn't mention that this morning. I didn't know about this morning. They called me about half an hour ago at the start of lunch break. It was all very sudden. They said they had something important to tell me. I wondered what it could be about. I wondered too. This sounds serious. I'm sure it'll be fine though. Knowing my parents probably want to ask me about something, whether if I find a partner yet, or if I'm planning to giving them a grandchild anytime soon. My mother's always harping on that. She's so intense. He already shakes her head some, then smiles. I'll have to go home early today. Club duty will have to be put on hold, regardless of what Professor Sakai might think. I hope you don't mind. No, it's fine. This might be a boon, but actually, it'll give me some time to get everything straight. That's what I was thinking. Kiori takes my hand once more, gives it a comfortable squeeze. I know you must be anxious, Haru, but don't worry. No matter what happens, I'll always be here for you and Anna too. You're both precious to me, and I won't let any harm befall you. If you ever need a place to turn to, you can come to me. I'll never abandon you. I promise. She's such a good girl. Once lunch is over, I'm kept busy attending my next handful of lectures. My day wraps up at 1600, and rather than reviewing the day notes and in the library, like I often do, I instead opt to meet Anna at the bakery after her shift ends. Knowing Anna, she'll probably be planning to head over to the astronomy club after work, but that's off the table for now. Professor Sakai's investigation has cooled my passion towards our club activities, and in any case, Hiyori won't be around to oversee things. I wonder what it is exactly that her parents want her to discuss with. Could it be something serious? It sounded a bit ominous than them coming over at such short notice, but perhaps this really is nothing more than a standard family get-together. I know Hiyori's parents have ample cash to splash around. I doubt like people like that think of anything of taking an unpleasant trip to Tokyo. My parents meanwhile live out in the sticks, and they're not very wealthy. They've been to Tokyo about 3 times in their lives, and they definitely don't have the change to spare to pay me a visit at the drop of that. Perhaps. It is easy to forget this, given how friendly Hiyori is, but she's very privileged, and she and I couldn't come from more different backlogs. That's besides the point though. I'm getting sidetracked. I leave the university campus, my messenger bag slung over my shoulders, and maneuver over the bakery where Anna works. I get there about 15 minutes before the shift ends, and I catch in the midst of dealing with a customer. Ooh. Here you are, freshly baked loaves of spelt bread. They've only just come out of the oven. I hope they are to your liking. Thank you very much for your patronage. It's more appreciated. Anna wraps up these loaves of bread in a paper bag for a customer that heads them over with a bow. The customer hands Anna some money in turn, which she slots deftly inside the cash machine. Anna exchanged some pleasantries with customers. For a few moments, a cheery smile upon her face until they take their leave. Once Anna is finished with her interactions, I step up to the customer, then wave at her. Hey there, how are you doing? Oh, darling, I didn't see you. It's nice of you to come and visit me. Anna's eyes light up to see me, and her eyes, which was already wide, grows wider and wider still. Anna looks so happy. She's positively glowing. She's adorable though. Part of me does think that. Professor Sakura looks good in that. I like to see her dressed as that too. I mean, either way, she is threatening us though. That's the thing. But let's actually, yes. Let's see. Professor Sakura might be a stern, serious sort of woman, but that only makes me more interested to see her wear a super cute pastel frilly dress. It sounds so out of character, but I'm sure it'd be a sight to behold. I'm actually really curious about that. But I'm a bit perturbed by myself too, thinking about Professor Sakura in such a way when she's stressing me out so much. I need to get my priorities sorted out, regardless of who else might look good in that outfit. However, the fact remains that it suits Anna to a T. Seeing her eases the worst of tensions in my breast, which settled there since my talk with Professor Sakura. When I'm with Anna, I feel like I can relax. I've been doing well, thank you, darling. The store has been so very busy today, I've been rushed off to my feet. Doesn't that get tiring? It can, yes, but I welcome the work. I always enjoy interacting with you Earthlings. Your race is such a curious one. You are very polite on the whole, and you often have interesting stories to share with me. I like talking with my customers, but that seems to annoy my manager. He sometimes scolds me for being too talkative. I mean, it's not good to talk to other people when you're working, because even if with your workers and all that stuff, you don't get to do it on break time. I think it's nice to take an interest in other people, though. It's only polite. Do you not agree with that? There are merits to getting to know your customer, sure, but I can imagine it causing problems. If your chatter starts holding up people, that does happen from time to time. My customers don't often complain. They say I am too cute to be mad at, but I'm aware it is an issue. I'm still trying to rectify it. It is hard to go against my nature, though. You can do it, and I believe in you. I give it a thumbs up. I bet you're the main draw to this bakery, because in the first place, people be flocking from all over the place to see you. Do you really think so? I'm certain of it. You look good and great in that outfit. Who wouldn't want to be served bread or pastries by you? Why thank you, darling? I'm flattered. You certainly know how to pick up my spirits. I too am fond of you, this Atari. It is most different from my clothes I wear upon Corvo. Anna takes hold of her frilly skirts between her fingers and then flutters it. In Corvo, we favor skin-tight Atari, but this is very loose and fluttery. It is not very practical, but sometimes prettiness is more important than practically. If you like this outfit at all much, perhaps you should ask my manager if I can bring it back home. I can wear it for you around the apartment if you like. We can do all kinds of fun things in it. All kinds of fun things, she says. Now I wonder what that entails. Probably those lewd magazines I had. I'm being blessed with all the manner of mental images right now. But no, this is hardly the time. I didn't stop by to see Anna so I could flirt with her. I have something important to discuss with her. This is kind of sudden, but we're not going to the astronomy club today. That's why I stopped by to pick you up. I thought we could walk back home together. Oh. Anna blinks. Have today's activities been suspended? They have. Yeah, I'm sorry for the short notice. It's kind of sudden. Oh, that is quite alright. It is possible to have too much of a good thing, or so I have heard. We can always go stargazing at a later date. Is something up the matter, though? Anna peers at me from behind the counter, her eyes soft and concerned. It looks like there's something on your mind. You can tell? Of course I can. You are very close to me, darling. I know your face just as well, if not better, than my own when I look into the mirror. I can detect your every shifting emotion. No matter how subtle it might be, I would not be able to call myself your fiancé if I was not capable of it the least. This much. Wow, I guess that's impressive. I pause. That's not that it's given that we're going to get married. We're still too young to think about the future. We might be young now, but that is only temporal. We all age eventually, and when we do, I like to do so by your side. Well, thanks, and I'm glad. I smile at her. For the present, however, I do have something serious to discuss. I received some pretty worrying news today. Oh dear, what news? I'll tell you later, when we get back to the apartment. Speaking of which, I take my phone out of my pocket. I glance at the time. It's almost 16:30, which marks the end of shift. Should you be finishing up now? Oh yes, you're right. I'll go get changed now, then we'll walk back later. I was looking forward to going stargazing, but I'm not all opposed to spending more time with you, darling. No matter how serious your expression might be. Anna ducks out from behind the counter, then presses a quick, fleeting kiss to my cheek. I like Kiri a lot, but I like you too. Here, Anna's voice drops to a sensuous whisper. And sometimes I must confess, I don't feel like sharing you. Being with you has made me an awfully selfish girl. Ah, man, Anna. Alright, let's just hope everything be alright now. So, what's the problem, darling? Anna poses this question to me as soon as we return to our apartment, wide-eyed innocence. My conversation with Professor Sakai has been weighing on me all day. I'm relieved at the thought of my finally relaying the news to Anna. I guess there's no sense stalling for time. I sigh, then shrug off my coat, take up a seat upon the tatami mats. Anna sits beside me cross-legged, her long hair curling in wispy tendrils on the floor. She looks obedient and perfectly pliant, like a little kid in an assembly hall. There's something so sweet about Anna's guileless countenance, but I'm loath to cause her any upset. But that might, I fear, inevitable. This is about Professor Sakai. Her again? Anna wrinkles her nose. You've been talking about her rather a lot recently, darling. You should consider yourself fortunate that I'm not the jealous type. Else I might take offense. Hear you speak about another woman, so... Yeah, I know. I'm sorry about that. I don't want to talk about her all the time either. Believe me, I don't want this to be pretty serious. How so? It's a bit of a long story, but... Well, I don't want to make Anna worry unduly, so I decided to get straight to the heart of things. To give you a brief summary, I think she's suspicious of you. Of me? I nod. You know I mentioned that she'd been staring at you when we were stargazing on the roof. Yes, I recall your warning. You told me to be careful, and I really have been trying. I would not want to worry you again, darling. I know you wouldn't. You're a good girl, Anna. You've not done anything wrong. Aside from her worrying habit of calling us human earthling, which hasn't abated. But Professor Sakai closing in on us. She asked me to go to her office earlier today, and she gave me quite the ultimatum. She told me to tell her if I was keeping any secrets from her about the astronomy club members. I guess she always included in that equation, but I think her real point of interest is you. She didn't say it outright. Not in so many words, but I'm certain she's aware of there's something unusual, shall we say, about you? Then you think she knows I'm an alien? I think she might be toying with the idea, yes. I doubt she has concrete proof of this, but she's trying her best to find some. She even threatened me, Anna. What? Oh no! Well, what did that mean? Nasty woman say to you, darling? She said if I didn't play along with her schemes, she'd get the astronomy club disbanded and she'd get me expelled. I've only got a week to decide what to do. If I dally too long, she'll set her plan into motion. She said she was willing to destroy my future over this. It's no laughter matter. I rather agree. This does not sound funny at all. What are we going to do, darling? You can't let this woman beat you. I know how passionate you are about the studies you're always pouring through those dense, confusing textbooks of yours, and you know so much about the stars. You dream of becoming a scientist and of working at JAXA. If you get expelled from university, your dreams will be shattered. It doesn't seem at all fair that this woman should be threatening to take all this away from you. You've done nothing wrong. Anna, I blink, taken back. It's rare to see Anna lose her temper. In fact, I think this might be the first time I've seen her genuinely angry. She looks seriously pissed, and I think with a small smile, it's for my sake. Anna's indignation doesn't change my situation any, but it is reassuring. It's nice to know that she cares so much. Thanks for caring. It's appreciated. Well, of course I care. Why wouldn't I? You are my darling first and foremost, and I don't want to see you suffer. If that woman is serious in her threats, which judging by what you said, she is, then maybe it will be for the best if I went back to Corvo. I'm worried if I will continue to cause you problems while residing upon this planet, and I don't want that at all. You are my darling, Haru. If I were to cause you distress, simply by being with you, I would never be able to face myself. I love all to be selfless. If leaving you would be the best option, then I should take it. No. Even if I miss you, Anna sniffs. I miss you horribly. In fact, I don't want to say goodbye to you at all. I love exploring this planet, and I love the charming club. I really, really love being with you. But I'm willing to part with all of that for your sake. Just say the word, and I'll contact my faithful maid Revi and ask her to return me to Corvo. What? Oh no! I take Anna by the shoulder, startled by her sudden outburst. Don't feel obliged to leave me, Anna. Not now. That isn't what I wanted, and I doubt it's what you want either. You'd rather stay here, wouldn't you? Yes, I would, of course. I would. I've not lived on this planet for very long, but it feels like home to me, much more than Corvo ever did. Spending time here, spending it with you, taught me how much fun life can be. I'll never ever be as happy as Corvo as I am on Earth. Then don't go back. You can still stay here. We'll find a way to make it work somehow. But for your future career, is it less important than your happiness? It'd be unfortunate, yeah. If I was expelled from university, but it wouldn't be the end of the world. Lots of people wind up dropping out for all sorts of reasons. Wouldn't look very good on my record, but it wouldn't be an insurmountable blow. I'd be able to overcome it. I just need to put it in even more work. I could get a part-time job and I could help continue to look after you. We could stay in Tokyo. My eyes narrowed, and if that doesn't pan out, I could always go back to my parents' place, out in the countryside. There isn't much there, but we're able to save money while I figure out my next course of action. We still have options, but there's no guarantee Professor Sakura will successfully get me expelled, even if she tries to push me for it. I don't know how much influence or power she has in the university. For all I know, that could have been an empty threat. I can endure it, Anna, if you'll remain by my side. I want to be strong for you. Oh, darling. Anna looks at me, momentarily breathless. Her lips are pursued in a small ring of surprise, and pale pink blush spreads across her cheek. Would you be willing to go to such lengths for my sake? Yes, I would, yes. I'm not about to turn my back on you, Anna. Having you in my life has changed it for the better, so I'm going to fight to cling into that. That's not up for debate. You sound so manly when you talk like that. Anna giggles, still red-faced, and to think I was getting all worked up. My impassioned pleas weren't at all helpful, I fear. You meanwhile are trying to keep a level head, though you are the one being threatened. You're looking to the future and you're trying to think of me. You're so considerate. This is why you're my darling, and nobody else. You're the only human male who can make my cardiac rhythms very irregular. Is that a good thing? It is very, very good thing. It proves that you are important to me, darling. Not that this was up for debate. I really do like you. Anna smiles beatifically, then takes my hand in her own. She gives it a squeeze, consoling word for her palm, enveloping me, then says, "What will we do for the present, though, about this situation? I can continue to remain on this planet if you so desire it, but I do not want to cause you any undue stress. Do you think it would be for the best if I kept away from your campus for the foreseeable future? Then that might make it harder for that woman to watch over me. I'm not sure just yet. I talked about matters through Hiyori earlier today, but we weren't able to come to a consensus. She said we could talk about it tomorrow. With some luck, we should be able to think of a decent plan between us. Until then, I reach out, then rest my palm atop Anna's head. I give her hair a gentle ruffle, as one might with puppy, and smile at her. Don't worry too much, alright? I'll look after everything, so you don't need to stress yourself out. I'm going to try and protect you, no matter what happens. Darling, Anna sighs happily, one hand claps at her front. You're so good to me. Well, I smile. Then the sentiment is appreciated, but I don't think I'm the only one deserving the thanks here, Anna. Thanks here. Anna is. I suppose I ought to let her know as much as I do. How can you say that after you offered to sacrifice your happiness for the sake of my future? You're the truly kind-hearted one here. No, I'm not. Not really. Your happiness is my happiness, darling. I was only able to make such an offer, grim though it was, because it would benefit me. Like all other carbon-based life forms who live solely to propagate their existence, I really am quite selfish. And your selfishness manifests as being completely selfless. I grin the rub of Anna's head with a touch more vigor. Sorry, Anna, but I'm not buying it. You are a nice person or a nice alien, no matter what you say. Spending time with you has been a lot of fun. So I'm going to keep on fighting for you. I won't back down. You might be stubborn, but I'm stubborn too. I've never been a quitter. This is going to work out. It has to. Otherwise, I apparently silently within the confines of my own head. I don't know what I'll do. I mean to meet up with Hiyori on campus the following day to talk the recent events through with her, but I'm left disappointed. Hiyori is waiting for me outside my apartment, as she usually does in the morning, and though I hang around in astronomy club during lunch, both lunch and in the evening, she doesn't put in an appearance. I guess she didn't turn up. I sent Hiyori a few text messages inquiring as to her whereabouts, but I don't receive any reply from her. I tried calling her too, but my calls go similarly unanswered. Oh no. Left with no alternative and now wanting to barge in on her unannounced, I trudged back to my apartment, none the wiser about how I should proceed. It's strange, I muse as I try to sleep at night, that Hiyori would refuse to show up on campus despite our serious discussion the day prior. It's not like Hiyori has to take time off anyway, but it seems especially strange now. But she must know that I want to talk to her about the end of the situation. I made that pretty plain. Maybe she got sick, particularly poorly timed moment, or maybe she had some sort of argument with her parents. She did say she had to meet with them yesterday, and that their meeting was unannounced. Did they have something alarming to share with her? It's a possibility, but I can neither confirm or deny it without Hiyori's input. I'm left in the dark. I hope to see Hiyori the following day, both to ask for advice and to see how she is, but again, she doesn't show up. I send her more texts and try to call her a few more times, but I'm not met with any success. It's like Hiyori's fallen clean off the face of the earth. By the third day of Hiyori's absence, I'm starting to get seriously worried about her. I'm so worried, in fact, I head over to her place once I've had my fill of waiting around in the astronomy club and hoping she'll swing by. I stand on her doorstep and knock on her door, but she doesn't answer. The curtains by her window are drawn. All the lights are out. It doesn't look like there's anybody home. Is she even there? I have no idea. What in the world happened to Hiyori during her parents' visit? They didn't force her to leave Tokyo, did they? Something cataclysmic must have happened. Something so intense Hiyori had to abscond on short notice without informing me or Anna. Maybe her father lost his job, or maybe there was a death in the family. These seem fairly, but I don't know for certain. I don't know anything for certain. The days trickle by, and still I don't see no sign of Hiyori. The deadline Professor Sakura gave to me, meanwhile, creeps closer and closer still. She wants me to confide in all her of Anna's secrets. If I refuse to comply, she'll get me expelled. I hope for to formulate some plan of attack with Hiyori, but that has fallen by the wayside. Now I have no idea what to do. I put up on display of bravado, then when consoling Anna, but it's fast crumbling around me. I don't think I've ever felt more helpless. A full week passed before I know it, and still I've been unable to contact Hiyori. I tried to call her that Monday morning, but my call went unanswered, much like all of the other calls throughout the week. In despair, I threw my cell phone upon the tatami floor, then groaned. It's no good. What am I going to do now? This is a disaster. Well, alright, everyone. This is a huge disaster that's going on right now, but let's all hope that things will all go well for us and the club, Astronomy Club. But anyways, that's the end of today's video. So thank you everybody for watching this video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Check out my social media down below in the description. And I'll see you guys in the next one.